Hello everybody and welcome to the channel that you can loot every day for 1 gold carrot. You can call me Bailey and I will be your hostess this evening. I have another update for you on the ongoing fight with the Kuf. We have no more positive cases, all are largely well, except for some that are feeling weak. 2 of our 4-6 staff members are not doing so well. And finally, I was relieved from my duty as guard of the quarantine, so no more constant exposure to the virus for me. We are being tested today, so we will see what my results are in the next few days. You know what? This is boring. Speed up powers, activate. So, who likes ghost stories? I will tell ghost stories while I work my way to that huge ass building nearby, which turns out to be a shotgun messiah. Boom boom, yay. I have a few stories, so I will start with one that happened just last night, actually. Okay, so my coworker and I were in the resident coordination office, filing away things. But every once in a while, I would hear what sounds like a man exhaling. Oddly enough, I stopped for a moment to see if maybe I'm doing it through my mask, or if my leg is rubbing against something, or if it was my coworker. After we heard it a few times, my coworker asks me, "Do you hear that?" I nodded yes and peek out the window to see if someone was at the door. There was no one. We ignored it that time and kept going until we heard a deep exhaling again. My coworker now was like, "That's not you doing that, right?" I shook my head no and sighed into my mask, and my exhaling didn't sound like what we were hearing. We're both starting to get uncomfortable, so we tried to pick up the pace with filing. For one resident, I was having trouble finding their file. I shook my head and gestured to my coworker that I can't find it. "It's not in the cabinet, someone took it out and didn't put it back." When my coworker confirmed what I was trying to say, we heard a loud knock on the wall behind her. And then we heard that deep breath again. We picked up the pace, filed away whoever I could quickly find and then got out of that office. As we were leaving, we heard that deep breath one last time. Shortly after that, one of our residents comes to the office asking for help, having been locked out of her room for the second time that night. I left and helped her with that. When I got back, my coworker told me she went back into that office again to investigate knocking, what sounded like hard-sole shoes on the floorboards. Footsteps. She found the missing file, right where we originally heard that one knock on the wall. For some odd reason, there was a bunch of pennies on it along with a stack of papers, and they spilled on the floor when she picked up the file. After she had picked up the pennies and put them away, she went back into the main office to deliver staff files to the admin's office. And then a penny comes rolling up beside her. It was rather far-fetched, but after hearing that breathing, I don't want to question it. My first ever ghost experience was years ago when I visited the Eastern State Penitentiary with my parents. That notorious Gothic prison known from some rather cruel methods of, quote-unquote, rehabilitation. I was walking down a cell block, shivering in the cold and eeriness as I trailed behind my parents. I was peeking into the cells, and dared to get close to one when I noticed there was a small cat statue inside. I continued down the cell block keeping an eye out for more cat statues when I felt a big hand press and stroke up and squeeze my bottom. I squeaked, somewhat, and jumped away. Ever get caught in a big spider's web? Even just a single thread of one? When I jumped away, I felt something like a strong spider web cling to the waistband of my jeans, pulling towards the cell for just a moment. There were other tourists nearby and they had that look of surprise on them after seeing my jump away the way I did. I kept my distance from the cells from that point on. My parents didn't even notice and I was afraid to tell them. There was one other thing I couldn't quite explain. This was back when I was a littler girl, before the Eastern State story. It was school day, but I was sick with the cold, so I stayed in bed. It was about noontime when I was awake, the sun was high, the blinds were down, my light was out, but I saw a distinct human-shaped shadow glide across my wall. I thought about it a lot growing up, and I just couldn't not figure out how such a shape could form on my wall. If a car did it, how come that was the only time? It wasn't my mom either. I had a window to the outside of my room and she could just peek in and see how I'm doing. She couldn't cast a shadow like that. A rather small experience happened years later, a few days after my mom died. My dad decided it was time to start emptying out her closet and told me to claim whatever of her outfits that would fit me and we'll sell the rest in a yard sale. This was a rather hard task, because I kept finding outfits that mom liked that I wanted to keep, because she wore them often. I eventually picked out a few of her dresses that fit me, and a t-shirt that had Commander Spock from Star Trek on it. Spock was her favorite character. After I started moving the remaining clothes from the closet, I found an old button-up shirt that was painted on. It was a finger painting project I made for my mom when I was really little. I don't even remember doing this. I had written on it in finger paint, "My mom's giving tree." I started to cry again at that point, and then I heard my mom sobbing as well from inside the room. It could be chalked up as just my grief playing tricks on me, but it could also be mom watching me pick out some of her outfits that I was going to keep, knowing they would be put to good use. Another weird story. It's just a tiny bit embarrassing to say in public. I was going to the bathroom, and on the wall as I go in is a paper towel dispenser. It's one of those kinds where you turn a handle and pop, out comes a sheet. So as I step inside, the handle on that paper towel dispenser suddenly does a full turn and spits out a sheet of paper. I decided I could wait a little before going to the bathroom. This next one made me really not enjoy working a shift alone. It's bad enough with my disability, among other hazards. But sometimes, I just have to work a shift or two alone. And during one shift by myself, I had just finished mopping. My method to avoid leaving footprints is to chart my path and walk backwards. So, after I finished mopping the floors, I sit down to rest. When it was nearing time to open up our lounge, I noticed footprints. They were going towards the door into the main hallway. But here's the weird thing about these footprints. They started off faint and light near the middle of the room, and they were steadily getting more detailed, more defined, the further they go down the aisle of chairs through the room. Now, as I said before, I walk backwards when I mop, and I never go into a room with a wet floor. These footprints were going forward. Also, compared to my own feet, these footprints were bigger than my feet. There was no way I did this. And I am alone in that building, no one is allowed in and I make sure no one can get in. I unlocked the outside door for our residents and then got the hell out of that room. Not without remopping that floor, of course. And my final story. I had a shift with my usual coworker, the same one from the first story. Everything was quiet, we were just finishing our lunch when we noticed a strange rattling noise. I looked around and I realized it was coming from the admin's office. I dared to get closer to the door, and I saw the doorknob was rattling. Our building is next to a highway, but no amount of freight trucks or cars ever made the doorknob rattle like this. In fact, it never rattles. The only time it does is if you open a door. You know, the vacuum effect, or whatever it's called. Anyway, the doorknob was rattling and I stepped closer to the door, and then it just stops. I looked at my coworker, and the look on her face shows she saw it rattling too. I got closer to the door still, and leaned in, holding my ear to the door to listen for an animal. An animal had gotten in once before, or so I'm told. And then, there was a knock on that door, right next to my ear. From the inside. I squeaked and jumped away. That is a locked office, no one is inside. There's only two of us, and we're both on the outside. Nothing could be rattling that handle or knocking on the door from the inside. Not at human height if it was an animal. That story with the breathing made me want to tell the rest of my stories. It's very rare for something weird like this to happen at work, and I have yet to hear any footsteps myself. Maybe that will change. If my workplace is haunted, all this depressing energy from total lockdown might stir up activity. Who knows? I may never experience anything spooky ever again. God, that scared me. Where the hell did that come from? Bailey's rule number 57. If it's open, close it. Bailey's rule number 11. If it's closed, open it.
Bunny, must nibble, nom nom.
Again with the scaring. These ferals are a bit much. I suppose it's time to raid that huge shotgun messiah. A big place like that, a lot of shambling. I'm a little scared, but I'll brave it for as long as I can. Like my pink skirt? It's cute, isn't it? Perfect for surviving in a zombie apocalypse. Whoa, yikes. That could probably damage my bike. Ow, god darn it. That was my hand, oh god, jeez, what the heck, damn, that hurt. I totally had that under control. You can't prove I was panicking. I spent a good while healing. So I used bunny mind powers to speed things up. Haha, stupid bird. It's like you're in a Windex commercial. Oh. Run. It's going to eat me.
Squawk squawk. YOLO squawk.
Hippity hoppity, your feathers are now my property.
Oh no, I fell. doesn't work. Nope. Stupid rabbit.
That usually does the trick to stopping them long enough to search. A feral? Oh. Get out of here. No touches. Oh. That's bad news. I can't cover the hole now. Why is this useless now? This is bad. That music means there's a lot of them coming. Oh, finally. That's a lot, and I'm trapped like a rabbit. Poor low block damage. They are doing a lot. Now I'm not confident in my fort out there. What am I going to do? I have to fight them off eventually. Is that all of them? I'm scared to go down. It's almost night time. They're going to be really angry and nibbly. I'm sorry everybody, but I'm getting out of here. I'm too scared to face any surprises in the dark. Break for it. No, bird chasing me. Go away, bird. Go away.
Wait, Bailey, don't go.
Stupid birds.
Let me smash.
Leave
please.
me alone.
Let me smash, please. My tail is big, I promise. Ah, Bailey, why? I just wanted to smash.
I'm leaving before any more show up. I'm sorry for chickening out. I wanted to search every corner of that place, but I didn't realize it was going to be that scary. If you liked the parts where I was brave, smash like that button with your biggest squeaky hammer, and I hope to see you all on the next adventure. Until next time, bye bye. And hopefully my camera tracking will work better.